Are we good? Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today here at Mystic Fitness on Victory Field. My name is Erin, and I'll be guiding you through your practice this morning. If you would like to come to any of our classes, whether they're out here on the field or in studio, please just register ahead of time online. We would love to see you. And if you are enjoying our online classes and you have the means to do so, we would appreciate any donations to the studio that you are able to give, either through our Venmo account, or you could always just mail us a check if that's something you would prefer. So today I always use a block, and today specifically you might need a block for your practice, as we will be going into a half moon pose, and using the block just makes it a lot more accessible for most of us. So that being said, get yourself ready to have a great class. Sit up, either with your legs folded in front of you, or if you're more comfortable, you're more than welcome to sit back on the heels. Let's start to take a few breaths here together. If you haven't already done so, allow your eyes to float closed. And start to breathe in and out through your nose. Inhaling down into the belly, let the belly fill up with air. And then let it go. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Continue breathing long, slow breaths, breathing into the belly. All the way up now, rising up through the chest. And when you're ready to release, you release. Deep in breaths. And complete out breaths. Breathing in as long as you can without straining, maybe pausing at the top of the inhale, just for a moment. And then exhale it all the way. Maybe inviting a slight pause to the end of the exhale. We'll continue breathing with just a little breath retention at the top of each breath and also at the bottom of the exhale. Last few here. Bringing your awareness to the breath and sensations in the body. But also maybe broadening your awareness to just take in the subtle sensations and sounds around you. Last few. And one more. Continuing to breathe, let's inhale and stretch the arms all the way up overhead. Really reach up to the sky, maybe even lift your nose up to the sky. And as you're ready, we'll draw our prayer hands to the heart. Invite just a slight tuck to the chin. We'll open up our class with the cleansing breath and the sound of Om. Let's take a breath in together. And sigh it out. Inhaling for your Om. Have a great practice. We'll open our eyes now and make our way onto hands and knees, where we will begin the warm-up today. So your knees are either under the hips or even slightly wider, hands under shoulders, or if your wrists aren't so flexible, just take them a little bit more forward. Just take a few side stretches, bringing your right shoulder to the right hip and even pressing the hips back a little. Inhale, make your way through center and over to the other side. We'll just continue to wag the tail a few times. So our practice today will involve a lot of side stretches and side strengthening poses. So just getting that ready right here, warming up, lateral edges of spine. And then we'll come back to the middle and begin some cows and cats. Inhale, we'll lower the belly, look up. As you exhale, curl and round, chin to chest, press the fingers to the ground. Inhale, arching. Exhale, curling. I love to let my elbows get involved, bending and extending them as I move through. The hips are also shifting just a bit forward and back, however they like to move. We'll get one more here, curling it under, and then come back to neutral spine. Let's take the right leg back, stretch your foot back now, and begin to find that lift of the low belly. We'll take the right leg up, balancing in our table position. If you're ready for a little more already, we'll take the opposite arm forward here. We'll take a few flows. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, curl, knee and elbow draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale to curl. Last two. This can be done with the hand down, just the knee curls. Last one, and curl. Let's come back to extended and pause. Keep your foot up and just drop the hand. Now from here, curl the back toes under, harness the power of deep core, and coming all the way up to three-leg dog right away. So keep that right leg lifted. Maybe you come up and down on the ball of the left foot a few times. Really stretch into the back of that leg. One more breath here. And then drop your foot down to the floor or the ground, wherever you're working today. And start to pedal it out in downward facing dog. Take one big breath. And let it out. Dropping down to the knees, sit back on your heels for a moment. We'll also be on the hands a lot today, so let's sit back, roll the wrists a little bit, just loosening up the wrist joint. Start to circle your hands in the opposite direction, and even giving them a little shake out. Once you're done shaking it out there, and you can get your whole body into it if you've got something to get rid of, we'll come back onto hands and knees and try our balanced table on the other side. So left foot shoots back. We want to have the toes pointed down towards the earth, and then maybe the other arm reaches forward. Feel your core support you. Big breath in. Exhale, we curl. We have three more for a total of four. Extend and curl. Last two. And curl. Last one. And curl it in. Extend and pause. Stomp your foot back. Hand to the ground. Curl the right toes under. Use your core to lift up and back. Three-leg dog on this side. Maybe you come up and down on the ball of the right foot a few times, only if it feels lovely for you. Another breath here with the leg lifted. And as you exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog, and we'll pedal it out once again. When we're on the hands, we really need to grip into the mat. So feel all of the pads of the fingers grip tight into the mat. This will help take the pressure off the hands as well. We'll make our way into child's for a few moments. Let your knees either come to the edges of the mat or together. Big toes touch, and we'll reach the arms forward. Breathe it in and out. Allow your forehead to rest somewhere, either on the ground. You could bring a block up underneath your head. And we'll find a little lateral stretch here, walking the hands over towards the right side. So you can walk them right off your mat and reach a little longer through the left arm here. Open up left side ribs, really stretching into that area today. One more breath. Walking our way back through center and then over to the other side. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Inhale through the nose into the belly, all the way up towards the shoulder. And release. Hands walk back to the front. And we come back up onto hands and knees. Curl the toes. And back to downward facing dog again. Pedal it out a couple of times. Find your grip of the mat with your fingers. Head is heavy. Last breath here. All right, inhale, look forward, knees bend, and as you exhale, we will walk the feet
up towards the hands. Find half lift as you breathe in, hands onto the shins, extend the crown of the head forward. And then exhale, soften and fold down. Let yourself stay here. Bend your knees more than you want to maybe, so that you're very soft, never overstretching. Maybe you sway side to side or walk your hands from one side to the other. Shaking your head out can maybe help release some tension there in the neck. Take 2 more breaths here, just allowing any cares and worries to just roll off your back and be absorbed by the earth. Let the earth support you here, not only physically, but on a deeper level as well. When you're ready, we'll rise to extended mountain. Inhale, press to the feet, roll up, and continue to breathe in as you lift the arms up and look up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll come into 2 sun salutation A's, core vinyasa style this morning. Inhaling, arms sweep up, lift up. Exhale, bow, and hinge to the ground. We'll inhale to half lift. Plant the hands on the exhale and find downward facing dog. To find a waved plank, we'll bend the knees and look forward as we breathe in. Exhale, pick up hips. See if you can go 1 vertebra at a time into plank, arching a little there. Inhale, straighten it out, squeeze everything. Exhale, knees drop and you'll lower slowly to the earth. Tuck the chin, inhale, cobra, strength of your back. And exhale, press your way up and back to downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths here. Either in stillness or pedaling the feet, your choice. Last breath. Doing that again from the front. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, step the feet up to the hands. Inhale, halfway, extend. Exhale, fold and soften. Inhale, rise in all your glory, offer it up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, and we'll take our second round. Inhale, arms sweep. Exhale, hinge down. Inhale, halfway. As you exhale, down dog again. On your next in-breath, we look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, roll and wave, plank. Inhale, rock a nice solid plank. Exhale, knees come down and we lower to the earth. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, take it up and back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths in and out. Oh, if you're at home, take it outside today. It's so beautiful. Let's get ready to take the right leg back to the sky. Inhale, sweep it up there. Exhale, take a moment, open up the hip here, bend your knees, stack right hip over left. On your next big inhale, we stretch it long and back. Exhale, knee into the nose, pause, then step to the right hand. Make your way to crescent lunge, make sure your feet are hips width apart, and then use the power of the core to come on up to standing. Lift the arms up overhead. We're going to take the right hand down onto the right hip. Inhale, straighten your legs. Stretch up a little taller. Exhale, back down to crescent. We're going to add a little side bend here. Inhale, reach up with the left hand. And exhale, reach it up and over towards the right. So again, still opening up that rib cage. Try not to crush the other side though. So lifting up as you lift over. 1 more breath in. And out. Great. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, hands come to frame the front foot. We're making our way to twist. So here's another chance to maybe use a block. Left hand onto it. Right hand might start at right thigh as you begin to spin towards the right. Right arm can reach up to the sky if that feels good for you. A beautiful little flock of birds just flew overhead. 1 more breath in and back out. Last breath in. As you exhale, both hands down to the ground. And we're making our way to a side plank here. So the way that we'll do it is just sweep the right foot back, roll to the outer edge of the left foot,
And now stack your feet on top of each other. Now, if maybe you prefer a modified version, you're going to drop the bottom knee down to the ground. Either one is fabulous. So now strengthening side body, also getting a big stretch for it. Last breath. And exhale, take it down to a high plank. Hold for the in-breath. And exhale, lower your way down to the ground. Nice. Inhale, cobra, look forward. Exhale, press it up and back, downward facing dog. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Inhale, left leg, all the way up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip, take a breath. Inhale, sweep it up once again. Exhale, knee to the nose, pause. Kick your foot through so you get it close to the left hand. Take a moment to rearrange your feet to hips width, and then rise on up, crescent lunge. Make sure you're stable here, and then we'll take the left hand down to the hip. Inhale, straighten everything and reach. Exhale, bend back to crescent. Big in-breath, lift up through right arm. Exhale, up and over, reaching to the left. Try to draw the shoulder down the back as you do so. Few breaths here. One more. Let's inhale and sweep the arms up. Exhale, both hands come down towards front foot, maybe block for right hand. And inhale, spin your way open to the left. Runner's lunge twist. Now keep pressing back through the back heel so we're not allowing ourselves to sink. Stay nice and strong. Last breath here. Final inhale. As you exhale, both hands come down to the ground, getting ready for side plank on this side. So we sweep the left foot back, roll to the outer edge of the back foot. Maybe you stack them on top of each other. You could stagger them also, one in front of the other. Or like we tried on the other side, maybe you're deciding to take the bottom knee to the ground and modify it. One more breath. On the exhale, let's take our way back to our center plank. Take an in-breath. Exhale, lower slowly down. Tuck chin, inhale, lift up. And exhale, take it up and back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Last couple of breaths. All right, let's inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walk or hop the feet up towards your hands. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep and rise. Press to the feet, lift the energy all the way up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Getting ready for a chair pose. Our feet should be directly underneath the hips here. We'll take a breath in, lift the arms. And exhale, sit the hips back and take the arms forward. So you can kind of play around with the weight distribution here in the feet. Make sure it's even, or even maybe taking a slight bit more back towards heels, even if it's just for a moment, to help the hips come back further. Arms come to cactus arms, and we hold here for 2 breaths in and out. One more. Inhale, sweep super tall. Exhale, forward fold. Staying here in Padahastasana maybe. So slipping the hands under the feet from the front. And you might need to bend the knees a lot so that you can reach. Seeing if you can get your fingers toward the heel and your toes to the wrist. So this is a nice counter pose for down dog with your hands flipped in the opposite way. You can pull a little bit with your hands to get a deeper stretch in your upper back. I'm massaging out my palms with my toes so that can feel nice after being on the hands. Last 2 breaths.
You can take that headset off. You want to throw it?
And one more. Taking the hands out from underneath. Let's inhale and lift the energy all the way to the sky.
And exhale, we'll bow down once again. Inhale halfway. And exhale, we'll step it back to downward facing dog. Stay right here. When you're ready, we'll sweep the right leg up to the sky, three-leg dog. Again, bending the knee to open up the hip. Now, many of us will stay here. Some others might choose a flip dog, dropping your lifted foot towards the outside of the mat and opening up into this variation on a back bend. Long breath in and out. If you flipped your dog, flip it back to a three-leg dog. On an exhale, take the knee to the chest, step to your hand. And we're going to make our way into a wide forward fold just by dropping the back heel, pivoting your right toes to face the long end of the mat, and we will end up here. Feet are in line with each other. Let your knees be as bendy as you need them to be as you take a moment to rest and fold. One more breath here. Inhale to a half lift. Hands can be on a block there if you need a little extra space. Exhale, hands come onto the hips. And as we inhale, we'll come all the way back up to our stand. Making our way into a warrior two now on the right. Eventually half moon will find us, so you might bring your block over towards that foot as well. Bend the right knee. Check in as you bend the right knee that your knee is over the ankle or a little bit behind it. We don't want it jutting forward. Back foot is either parallel to the back of the mat or start to press the heel back more so your foot's on an angle there. Outer edge of back foot begins to press to the mat. Evenly distribute your weight. Maybe you're finding a little cinching of your abdominal muscles here. Last breath here, warrior two. Flip your right hand, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale to extended side angle, stretching. Take the arm up to the sky, reach it towards the back hip, and then circle it up towards the ear. Stay here and stretch. Palm tries to face behind you. Try not to lean so much on the right leg. Theoretically, that right arm should be able to come off. Or one day, not necessarily today, right? It's all good. Last breath. Let's reverse on the in-breath, but this time we'll straighten the front leg just to kind of back off the bed. And then exhale back to extended side angle. Get ready for half moon. Find your block. We'll press off the back foot. The right hand walks forward. You can bring it a little off to the side to make it a little easier to balance. Squeeze that top glute, should be rock solid. Your gaze can be towards the earth, which is easier, or you could look towards the side or even up, which is most difficult. Last breath here. Let's see if we can land back in warrior two. Sometimes it's graceful, sometimes it's not. Totally cool. Flip the front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior, and exhale, cartwheel it down to the earth. Step your way back to down dog. Take your feet again, hips width apart. Pedal that out or find stillness. And you can always bend your knees in your dog here to stretch more through the spine. And then we'll breathe and look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walker hop up toward your hands. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold it down. I've had a lot of little creatures on my mat as I've done these outside classes. Never quite had a little earthworm crawl his way onto the mat. I'm just going to set him off to the side. Let's inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, nice and tall. And exhale, hands to heart, center. We'll start all over again. I'm glad I saw him before I stepped on the poor little guy. Here we go to the other side now. Arms stretch up and exhale, hinge. Soft, soft knees. Love yourself there. Inhale halfway. As we exhale, we're going to step it back. downward facing dog. Left leg flips up now. Exhale, bend the knee and open up the hip. Maybe you flip. Make sure I don't step on my little friend. Stretch into your flip dog, or continue to just come into your three-leg dog, maybe open hip. When you're ready, flip back over to three-leg dog and exhale, knee into your chest. Step to your front hand, back heel drops, and we'll walk it back to our forward fold. 3 breaths in and out. 2. And 1. With or without block for assistance, inhale, wave to half lift. Exhale, hands on to hips, keep belly strong. And then inhale up to stand. Making our way to warrior 2 on left. Left toes point towards the front of the mat, bend your knee, spread your wings, take it all in. Soften your face, soften your gaze. 2 more breaths. Just a perfect October morning. 1 more. Left palm flips as you inhale and stretch into the side ribs, reverse. Exhale, now we'll stretch the other side. Extended side angle. Just take a breath and reach up. Circle your hand back to the hip, keep the palm facing back, and then reach it forward. Retract the shoulder down your back so you're not crunching up into the shoulder and neck as you find a nice stretch through both sides of the body. Last few breaths. Have an intentional gaze either for your foot, the side, or even up. 1 more. Inhale, we'll reverse triangle, so straight in the front leg. Sweep back nice and long. Exhale, back to extended side angle. Find your block. Half moon, here we go. Sometimes you need a few hops to get there. Do what you need. Press strong into the standing leg. Open hips. Squeeze, squeeze glute. Back foot is strong. So intentionally flex the ankle. If you like to point, you can, but you want to have a strong foot. Last few. 1. Let's start our journey back to Warrior 2. Flipping the front palm now. Inhale, reverse it. And exhale, cartwheel it down to the ground. Step your way back. Downward facing dog. So it's your choice to stay for 3 breaths, either in down dog, or you can drop down onto hands and knees and press back to child's pose for a couple of moments. Maybe just wiggling yourself comfortable there. Last breath here. We'll bring our way back onto hands and knees here. Curl the toes under and press it up and back. Just a little bit more standing to do. So let's inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walk or hop the feet up towards your hands. We'll inhale halfway and exhale, fold it down. 1 breath. Let's rise all the way up. Take it nice and tall. And then exhale, hands to heart. So just in honor of October and all these gorgeous trees around us, coming into our tree pose this morning. You can step off your mat if you're outside, because the earth is a little bit easier to balance on. So you'll step to a mountain pose here. Rooting down into your right leg first here. Let's inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart, and as they do, pelvic floor lifts and you cinch it in a bit. Left foot will come to the inside here, pressing on the inner part of the leg, either the shin, or you could reach and pull it up onto thigh, but make sure it's not pressing on your knee. Keeping hands in prayer might be a nice option. If you press them together, it might help remind you or find that deeper core awareness there. You can always spread your branches. Whatever variation you can come up with here with your arms. You can press the palms up, stretch out those down dog hands, those side plank hands. Last 2 breaths. If you fall out, maybe you come back in. Last breath. We'll just make our way down and just kind of shake that off. Close your eyes. Just pretend you're swaying here in the wind. No wind today, so we have to pretend. And we'll make our way to the other side. So starting to invite some stillness back into the body. Again, finding your peace, your ground, your mountain. Sweep arms up as you breathe in. As you exhale and the hands come to heart, feel the cinching start to happen at pelvic floor and deep core. And then we will take the right leg up onto the left. If you want to go for the thigh, you got to pull it up there probably. Mine doesn't want to go today, so I'll let it stay here. Never forcing your body into places it doesn't want to be. Respect your body. It'll respect you back. Last 3 breaths if you want to move your branches. Last few. Final. Good. Tree release. Shake it off a bit. And we'll start to come into some of our final challenging poses of practice before we just chill out. Coming back up to the top of the mat if you left. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge, and bow all the way down. Inhale to halfway. Exhale, hands plant on back, step back, downward facing dog. Let's take our way back to a high plank. I love to find the roll, so bend the knees and look forward. Exhale, roll through it. Access each vertebra if you can. We'll inhale back here into our high plank. And then coming over onto the right side, heels pivot to the right. And we'll come into our side plank one last time. Now maybe inviting some of that half moon type action into it. You lift the top leg now. This can be done with the bottom knee down too. 2 breaths more. 1. Back to center plank we go. And then we try the other side now. Roll over. Feel the energy lifting up through the center body. Maybe the top leg lifts, even if the bottom knee has to drop. 2 breaths more. Last. Oh, I got half of one in there. Come on back to high plank. Drop the knees, slowly lower down. Tuck your chin. We'll find cobra this time and hold it. So press the fingers into the floor. Draw the shoulders from the ears. Try to pull yourself forward a bit so that you're not just dumping into the lower back. Last couple of breaths. 1 more here. Press your way up and back into downward facing dog. And we're going to make our way into a lizard. Let's take the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, we'll step it forward to the outside of your hand. Back knee will drop down. And just point your right toes out a little bit. And you might play around with coming onto the edge of the foot. Maybe kind of roll it a few times. And then you figure out where you're most comfortable, either with the foot flat and the toes out a little, or on the edge of the foot. That's going to open up the hip more. You can stay here and just kind of press your right hand into the leg to open it. If you like coming deeper to the ground, you can explore taking forearms down to the ground. So there's lots of different variations of this pose. Last few breaths here. One more. Coming back onto hands and knees, curl your toes, lift the knee, active lizard. Let's take the right leg all the way up and back, three-leg dog right away. Exhale, bend knee, open hip. Inhale to the sky and exhale, down dog and the other side. Left leg, big sweep. As you exhale, we will step it forward outside of your left hand. Back knee drops down. Pointing left toes out. Maybe coming onto the edge of the foot. Just bring a block up underneath your right hand too. Take your hand and just kind of help that hip open up. Stay here. Or maybe coming a little deeper and forearms down. Last two. Last one. Coming back up onto the hands if you're on forearms. Front foot fully to the floor now. Back toes curl to lift the knee. See if you can sweep the leg all the way up and back to three-leg dog. Then bend the knee, open up the hip. Back to three-leg dog on your inhale and exhale, down dog. Now coming into half pigeon. Hopefully our hips are loose and it's comfortable today. If not, you can come onto your back and take a figure four stretch. Let's take the right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee in towards the chest, and then slide your knee down right behind your right wrist. The left leg will slither its way back. It's like that little worm. Nice and long down the back of the mat. Now this hip is a little sore for me today, so I'm going to take a block underneath. I feel much happier here, supported. I'll start to just let myself come on down here. Long inhales and exhales. Last breath here before we change it up. Getting that side stretch in here. We're going to walk our hands away from the right leg, so over to the left. Really reach a little more through the right hand and bring that side stretch into your pigeon. Last few here, long and slow. Two more breaths. Last one. Hands walk back towards the front and then towards hips. Back toes curl. Lift your right knee up into the chest. Stretch it up to a three-leg dog. Shake it out or do whatever you like with it there. Eventually you put it back down into your down dog, and we will just try the other side. Left leg, big sweep. Exhale, we'll take the knee into the chest. Place it down behind the wrist, close to the wrist. You want your thigh to line up with the edge of the mat, and then don't worry about wherever your shin goes is where it should go. Let it go where it likes. Start proud, lead with the belly as you begin to bow forward. So both sides of your body are probably different. I'm perfectly comfortable without a block on this side. So it's just something to notice. It's one of the lovely things about your yoga practice, is you can just forget about everything else, and it's some great you time. Taking the sensations in the body, the sounds and sensations outside the body. Beautiful sun on the skin maybe. Buzz of insects and chirps of birds. Maybe it's a fan if you're inside. Whatever it is, just make it all a part of it. Coming into our side bend now, we'll begin to walk the hands over to the right. Stretch long through the left arm. 3 breaths here. Two more. And one more. Let's walk our hands back towards the front, then back to the hips, puffing up your proud little pigeon chest. Hands plant, toes curl in the back. Let's lift the back knee and the front leg. Front leg comes up and back. Give it a little shake. Back to down dog we go. Very last one. Big breath, big stretch. And we'll make our way down to the ground. So let's just take the knees down. Lay on down. Let your legs just rest on you. Give yourself a hug and a squeeze and a rock from one side to the other. Come into a bridge pose here, just to stretch out the front side of the body. Feet come hips width apart and the knees bend up towards the sky. Arms alongside you. Big open palms there, so you have a lot of support from your fingers. Press into your feet, take a breath in and lift your hips. Start to lift up the spine until you're up onto the back of the shoulders and upper back. Take notice of your feet. We're trying to get them parallel to the edges of the mat, but if you're someone with tighter hips, your toes might want to naturally point out. It's not wrong, something to notice. Maybe over time you can see if you can get them more parallel, and that's just a check-in to see if your hips were able to create more space for themselves. That might be something that never happens. It might be a structural thing, and that's all good too. See if we can get 2 more long breaths in and out. Last full round. Inhale, walk your shoulders back out from under you if you move them a little closer together. Exhale, lower down, 1 vertebra at a time. Let the hips land. We'll get a little spinal traction here. Take your hands to the tops of the thighs and just begin to press away a little bit. The more firmly you press, the more space you start to create in the lower back. This shouldn't be painful, but there might be a little sensation, maybe towards the edge. And you want to back off if you feel any pain at all. but try to breathe into that space and create a little bit more. And then we'll find reclined bound angle. Soles of the feet touch and the knees will just drop out. If this is too much for hips, blocks underneath each thigh will make it a little bit more comfortable for you. Two more breaths in and out and in and out. Let's take the knees back into the chest, rock and roll a little side to side. And then maybe hook your hands behind the thighs and rock and roll forward and back a couple times. Seeing if you can rock all the way up to a seat, tap the toes down, and then rock back again. Trying to do this with control. Even finding that little hover point on the sits bones. Now instead of wrapping, just hold on to the thighs and see if you can rock up and pause in a boat for a moment. Maybe the feet extend forward. You can keep the hold of the thighs or reach them forward. One more breath. Grab the thighs, rock back, come back up, hover, boat. Number 2, feet forward, release the hands maybe. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Hold the thighs, curl the spine, rock back. And very last one, rock forward, find your hover. Feet forward, I promise. Reach the hands forward. 2 breaths. Last one. Grab the thighs. Rock back. Oh, yes. We're all done. You can rock forward and back a few times if you want. Or just let yourself rest and rock a little from side to side. We'll come into another back bend here, but this time if you have a block, please use it for support. You could also use a pillow or something else if you're at home. So we'll lift the hips up, take the block underneath you. Now you could go on the low side. I'm a little bendier in my spine, so I prefer the medium side. Maybe if you're super tall and super bendy, you could go on the high side, but this should be comfortable and restful and not too much at all. Once you're here, you can start to walk your feet a little wider, and this will help relax the front of the hip flexors. And now we're just going to take it all in. Just letting the block help to kind of relax and ease those core muscles that we just worked. Three breaths here. Two more. And one more. We're going to change our supported back bend a bit by starting to lengthen the legs long now and then take the arms overhead. So I always do one leg first, then the arms, and then the other leg. Now if this is still comfortable, you stay. If it's not, you can just take your stick pose on the ground and forget about the block. Last few breaths before we add on. Adding that crescent shape into the body for a supported banana pose. We'll take the feet over towards the left or the right side of the mat, and the hands and the shoulders a little bit more towards the left side. And we're stretching deep into the opposite side body. So hands and feet right. I might have mixed that up there. And stretching through the left. If you find this the least bit uncomfortable in your lower back, the block comes out, or you bring it down to a lower height. Last breath here. Coming back to the middle, let your knees bend so that you can safely switch. And then we will take the feet over towards the left, hand and shoulders over towards the left, and breathe and open right side body. Almost there, last few breaths. Savor every bit of the breath. Final one here. Straightening back out. Bend your knees now. Take the block out from underneath. Hips will drop down to the earth. And we'll take the right knee in. Interlace your finger on the shin. Stretch your left leg nice and long. Coming into a twist here, let's extend the right arm out, left hand onto right knee, and help that knee cross over the body. We try to keep both shoulders down. You might have turned your gaze towards your extended hand. Staying in your twist for 3 breaths more. Two more. One more. Inhale and unwind. Take both knees in as you switch. Interlace fingers on the left shin. Stretch the right leg long. Find that pull and push here in between the legs before you twist it out. And we'll hold on with the right hand. Left hand comes out. Palm down might help you stay a little sturdier. And we'll twist it out. We try to open up the chest fully, both shoulders down here. Breathe. Last 4 breaths. Three more. Two more. And one more. We'll gently unwind. If there's any last movement that you need so that you're comfortable for Shavasana, go ahead and do whatever that is. I tend to like to just rock myself a little bit back into a soft place fully through the spine, letting all of the muscles sink back down into the earth, all of the bones get nice and heavy. And then you'll let yourself spread out, letting your legs extend and arms are alongside the body, a few inches away comfortably. Palms will face up here. If you notice that your lower back is uncomfortable, we'll switch things up by taking the feet to the floor. Let your knees just gently knock into a place where they hover and are just able to stay without effort. Even if you're comfortable reclined, this can feel really, really nice for the lower spine, so let yourself explore it if you wish, staying there or not. We'll begin with a 3-part breath before we release effort and breath. Inhaling down into the belly, let that breath rise on up into the chest. And then exhale it out fully. Inhale, belly, chest. exhale. To find the 3 parts, think inhale belly, low ribs, upper ribs, filling the heart, and release. Last 3 mindful breaths. Two more Dirga breaths. And you're welcome to release the effort in your breath now as you just surrender it all over. If you find that your mind is active and kind of recalling the practice, or maybe it's telling you all the things that are happening in the future today, coming back to your pranayama to help quiet it can be very useful. Otherwise, you'll just let yourself be as you are. No effort in the body. Letting the mind find the stillness that's there. It's always there. It's just a matter of tapping into it. Instead of a narrow focus, just release your focus, or maybe find kind of a beautiful broad focus. Noticing sensations inside and outside your body. Noticing the breath and the air inside the body. Maybe noticing the air or the sun on the skin. Let yourself be here several more moments, resisting the urge to look at your watch or to get up early. This is the best part. Last few moments, savor every one. Start to make some small micro movements with your toes, your fingers. Maybe moving the wrists or the ankles. Your head might gently move side to side. Maybe taking a full stretch and stretching the arms back. Whatever happens, happens. Making our way to seated to close class in your time, starting by taking knees in, hugging and rocking, either rolling off from side to side, pausing on one side before sitting up, or if you'd like, a little forward and back to massage out the low spine. In either case, you will mindfully make your way into your seat. Hands come to prayer as you slightly tuck your chin to honor yourself. And honoring all the yogis that practiced with us today, wherever you may be, I thank you so much for being here. We'll close our class with the sound of Om and a cleansing breath. Inhale together and sigh. Inhale for Om. Bringing thumb knuckles to third eye center. Thank you so much once again for being here with me.
The love and the light within me deeply honors the love and the light within all of you. Namaste.